Hello and welcome to my discussion today. Today I'm delving into a topic that strikes at the very heart of our democracy, the state of the judiciary in South Africa. It's a conversation that's long overdue, one that demands our attention and scrutiny. In recent years, concerns have been mounting regarding the independence and integrity of our judiciary. Many voices, including mine, have raised alarm bells about the pervasive influence of political interests on our courts. A phenomenon commonly referred to as capture. What exactly does capture mean in the context of our judiciary? It's the insidious infiltration of political agendas and connections into the very fabric of our legal system, compromising its ability to dispense impartial justice. It's a sobering reality that threatens the very foundation of our democracy. In this video, I will shine a light on some troubling instances of alleged judicial capture, examining how it manifests and its far-reaching implications for every South African citizen. I will discuss the erosion of trust in our courts, the consequences of unchecked political interference, and the urgent need for transparency and accountability within our judiciary. But let me be clear, this is not an attack on the judiciary as a whole. I acknowledge and respect the many dedicated judges and magistrates who tirelessly uphold the principles of justice and fairness. So it was with great interest that I read in an article during April 2024 that Chief Justice Zondo's desire was to protect the judiciary from external attacks, and that he would like to encourage citizens to bring evidence to the Judicial Service Commission of captured judges. Today, I will give you some evidence that not only are some judges captured, but the courts as well. And as a citizen of this country, and having opposing litigants who are connected to the top echelons of the ANC, one stands no chance of receiving any justice whatsoever in this country's legal system. Chief Justice Zondo stated at the 3-day Judges Conference at Sun City during December 2023 that no one had come forward with any evidence of judicial capture despite his invitation. However, I must refute this claim. My complaint has been lodged with the Judicial Service Commission since September 2021, providing substantial evidence of judicial capture. Regrettably, it seems the Judicial Service Commission too is compromised, as they have failed to act on my complaint. Chief Justice Zondo, your assertion that those making allegations seek to undermine public trust in the justice system is unfounded. Why should the public trust a system that fails to enforce the laws of this country consistently? For anyone who'd like to view this YouTube video, it is called Raymond Zondo Rejects Judicial Capture Claims. In this news article, Chief Justice Zondo, you further emphasized the importance of evidence before making allegations against judges. I implore you to apply the same standard when assessing judgments that blatantly disregard the law, legal precedents, and constitutional principles. In my case, multiple violations of arbitration laws occurred, and established case law was disregarded by both the Supreme Court of Appeal and the Constitutional Court. Such egregious deviations from the law cannot be dismissed as merely questionable judgments. I find it perplexing that my complaint, which implicates judges from various levels of the judiciary, has been overlooked twice by the Judicial Service Committee. Is this silence indicative of political interference? The public deserves transparency and accountability from the judiciary, not evasion and indifference. So, Chief Justice Zondo, I suggest that you get off your chair and go and find my complaint and deal with it, as I have not heard a word from the Judicial Service Committee. And now the whole world is waiting in anticipation for the JSC's answer. The appointment of politically connected judges further erodes public trust in the judiciary. These judges don't seem to give a damn whether or not the law is broken, and previous case laws ignored, as long as they adhere to the call they got from the top. Individuals like Acting Judge Hartzenberg, who in my case made an arbitration award, an order of court when multiple provisions of the Arbitration Act had been violated, had been found guilty of misconduct in a court of law himself, and should therefore not hold judicial office. How can we trust in the impartiality of a judiciary that appoints such individuals? Why, Chief Justice Zondo, do you make the public at large believe that only fit and proper persons are appointed as judges, when this is definitely not the case? I have posted a link below to my Dropbox, where everyone can read the court case in which Acting Judge Hartzenberg was found guilty of misconduct. In an upcoming episode, I'll delve into the intricacies of what I term politically connected judges. One such instance revolves around acting Judge Platt, who previously served as an advocate for Zuma. In a separate case involving myself, Judge Platt presided over proceedings, and despite being made aware of false affidavits within the applicant's application and the fraudulent nature of certain documents that he presented to court, she passed judgment over me. It's crucial to note that this was an application, not a summons, for a final interdict, meaning Judge Platt had the discretion to refer the matter for a full hearing, which she opted against despite requests. Subsequently, I lodged a complaint with the Judicial Service Commission. Astonishingly, Judge President Dunstan Malambo dismissed my complaint alleging lack of substance, a decision made without reviewing the case file or listening to the court recording. Sorry, wasn't Judge President Malambo the same guy who told the public not to make assumptions without proof? What proof did he look at when he made this decision, as strangely, the court file mysteriously disappeared following the conclusion of the case? I suspect the reason for this is linked to the fraudulent documents filed by the applicant. Notably, the individual who submitted the false affidavit against me has since been convicted in a criminal court for making this false affidavit. When a judge overlooks glaring red flags, such as false affidavits and fraudulent documents in a critical legal application for a final interdict, it raises serious concerns about judicial impartiality and integrity, suggesting a potential capture. The Constitution of South Africa vests judicial authority in the courts, mandating impartial application of the law. Yet, when judges disregard the law and legal principles, they betray this mandate and undermine the rule of law. The failure to enforce laws uniformly fosters inequality before the law and erodes public confidence in democratic institutions. I reiterate the fundamental principle that courts are obligated to uphold the law. When they fail to do so, they effectively transgress the very legal framework they are entrusted to uphold. Wouldn't you agree? This unfortunate scenario precisely mirrors what unfolded in my case. Each judge who merely rubber-stamped these court orders, despite clear violations of South African law, essentially became complicit in this transgression. In simple terms, they all become trespassers of the law. Consequently, the Judicial Service Commission appears reluctant to acknowledge or address this complaint of mine. Now consider this. The Constitutional Court is indicating that my case does not fall within the realm of constitutional matters. Yet how can a matter that impacts every citizen in the nation, the enforcement of laws meant to safeguard the rights of all individuals, irrespective of their affiliations, not deemed to be a constitutional concern? Mr. Mokong, it seems evident that you chose to sidestep delivering a substantive judgment, opting instead for a vague and unsatisfactory ruling by dismissing it as a non-constitutional matter. This reflects a concerning trend I've observed among certain judges, advocates and lawyers. They seem to harbour a misguided belief that those without a formal legal education lack the intellect to comprehend legal matters. It's as though they regard themselves as the sole custodians of legal understanding. Moreover, the Constitutional Court's historical reluctance to address their past errors does little to inspire confidence. However, I urge them to reconsider their stance, as failing to rectify these mistakes will undoubtedly have repercussions. Failure to do so on the part of the Constitutional Court will create social unrest and undermine democracy itself. And this is exactly what is happening in the courts in South Africa at the moment, hence the public starting to lash out at the judiciary. I have provided pertinent documents supporting my claims and invite scrutiny from those who doubt the capture of our judiciary in my Dropbox link below this video. You will find our appeal to the Constitutional Court of SA, their order that they handed down, and my complaint to the Judicial Service Commission in the Dropbox. This is the complaint that is still unanswered. You will also find my view on why I say that the Supreme Court of Appeal has an ANC gatekeeper in the form of the registrar. If one studies these documents, then you will see what I mean by the arbitration laws that were violated, and all the previous case law handed down which had been disregarded in this matter, by both the Supreme Court of Appeal and the Constitutional Court of SA. Now anyone that has read all these documents and tell me I'm wrong when I say the judiciary system in SA has been captured, feel free to address me on a public forum with your reasons, but please make sure that I'm invited to give my reply. You can make contact with me on admin@rinetfarah.com. Further, feel free to leave constructive comments or your view below this video. I wish to clarify again that my criticism is not directed at all judges. There are many honourable judges in South Africa. However, the prevalence of captured judges and the erosion of legal principles demand urgent attention. Thank you for joining me in this crucial conversation. Let's continue to raise our voices and work towards a judiciary that serves the interests of all South Africans, free from the grip of political capture. If you are interested in the next episode regarding the flawed final interdict acting Judge Platt handed down, please subscribe below so that you will get the notification when it is ready. International business owners should therefore exercise caution when considering litigation in South African courts, as the judiciary has shown significant deficiencies in enforcing their own domestic arbitration laws, never mind their international arbitration laws. If you consider arbitrating in South Africa's courts, I encourage you to first read through my court papers before doing so. My advice to you is to avoid relying on South African courts for arbitration enforcement and seek more stable and predictable legal environments. As the voting is around the corner, I advise South Africans to be careful who they vote for in the upcoming election, as it might just be you who ends up in court next and don't get the justice you deserve. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I will see you in the next episode.